I'm in my scrap room. I'm so excited because we are just a few weeks away from attending a scrapbooking retreat here locally by one of our scrapbook stores. I cannot wait. It's so exciting to be back into scrapbooking again and having this fun time to be creative. Now, with the preparing for a scrapbooking retreat, I wanted to share just my normal process, but along with that, I wanted to use the principles of the lazy genius. If you're not familiar, these principles are by author Kendra Adachi. I'm a huge fan of hers because I love her concepts, her principles, and the concept of being a lazy genius. And so I do have her books, and she also puts out a podcast every Monday, a new episode, and I always listen to her podcast when I'm in my scrap room. So I thought it's only fitting that one of her podcasts was about her 5 principles about taking a day trip. And I thought, I wonder if I could apply those same principles to doing the scrapbooking retreat, which is basically a few day trips, right? It's a big event happening with a lot of details, especially for scrapbookers, where we want to put a lot of things in place. And so her principles, I'll go through them. There's 5, and they just seem to really make sense when it came to scrapbooking. The first one is prioritize. So the first thing we would do is to identify what matters most. The second is to essentialize. So we're going to remove what is in the way and really focus on the essentials. Number 3 is organize. Probably a scrapbooker's favorite part, where we're going to go through everything we need and have everything in its place. Number 4 is going to be personalize. So what makes us feel like ourselves? And then the 5th is systemize. What's going to help keep us in that flow? That sounds to me like a preparation for a great scrapbooking event. So I thought it combines the best 2 things. So I'm going to try these principles as I prepare for this retreat. And we're going to get started with that first principle, prioritize. And for me, I wanted to make sure I knew what I was going to do on the retreat and what were my priorities. And what I did was I started a list. The first thing I told myself regarding priorities was I wanted to get a lot of things done. But the more I started getting into and listening to Kendra's podcast on this specific method, I started to realize you can't keep it that general. So I really wanted to identify what a lot meant to me. As I started writing out the layouts and I started writing, the years and started really looking at things, I then got a little bit more granular and realized what would really make me feel good is if I could get 2023 completed. Now, I know at these retreats, there's a lot of distractions, and what I want to do is not be grumpy about those distractions. So that's why I have a plan and I have my priorities. That way I can have elements of fun without feeling like it's taking me away from trying to get too much done. I have to set realistic expectations. I know my priorities. I know what I'd like to focus on. So now let's go ahead and move to step 2, which is to essentialize. I want to go through the layouts I have because for essentializing, that second step, it's going to show me what's missing, because one of the things that will help is to be able to do it really quickly and stay focused on the things instead of having many things out. I know that is an essential thing, is don't give me a lot of choices. Don't give me a lot of options. And then having a very clear plan. And to essentialize, I got to make sure I have everything for these priorities I have set. So it looks like I was just missing a journaling card. So I want to find that, and then some embellishments. And then I'm going to go through my other kits, and I know a lot of them, what's missing is cardstock and embellishments. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to start pulling each of these out and trying to find all those things that are missing so we have complete kits. So I'm ready to go when it's time. Making decisions is one of my biggest distractions, having to make a decision. So I'm trying to remove that for myself by going through everything I can at home. Also, I love to use up what I have. I found these. These are old chipboard, and I don't really want to buy something new if I already have something at home I can use. So that's my plan. So in my process, I have done the few things. The sketch is picked. The cardstock is picked. I already had the pictures planned. So I'm really very close. Looks like I just need to pick out a couple embellishments and I'll be done with this kit and pack it back up. Okay, I made my decisions. I put everything back into the bag, and here is what I'm going to do next to help me. I need to write it down on a post-it note because I need to remember all the decisions I just made. The chipboard, I want to remember that I want to cover that in the dark pattern. So I'm just going to put myself a note. 8.5 by 11. Okay. All right, this kit is done. We're going to put everything else that I pulled out, we're going to put that away, and I'm going to pull out the next kit. There are 2 key steps in assembling a kit for me. And one of the things I first did was this all came out of the accordion folder. So these are all the kits that I have planned to do at some time or another. Before I actually start working on a layout, let's take this one for example. I see that this could either be made a single page, or I could add more pictures because I only have 2 pictures. So it could be a single page or a double page. What I would do then is I would look into the album I'm thinking about putting this into and making sure that fits either as a single page or a double page. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I would go into my album, and this is our family album, and I'm about to do some layouts of me and the kids, my husband and the kids, and I wanted to make sure it also flows in chronological order. So I had to plan for that as well. So I was looking at these photos and making sure the flow would work, and it does. So that helps with decision making so much. So I always have to do that step. It's crucial. The other resource I have that helps with my kit assembly is the sketches. The sketches play a huge role in making this an easy process. I put them into my binder here based on how many pictures are on the layout. So that is what I do. I put the single page in the front, the double pages are after that, and then just have this tabbed out so I know. The one I'm looking for now, it is going to actually be a single page, which is not as common, but it's going to have 2 photos. So I'm going to go to my 2 photos and start looking, and then also I start looking at orientation. So these are vertical. I'm looking for vertical and horizontal, see if anything jumps out at me. So we'll go through that, and I will find it for this, and then I think I already have a kit for it. We'll assemble that all together. Okay, my accordion folder is full of the kits with everything they need for them. So I have done this Essentialize step very specifically to my kits in my accordion. I also listed out all the layouts in the order they are here in the accordion, so I know exactly what I need to do without keep pulling them out. And also, it's a nice checklist. I love a to-do list that I get to cross off. So that will be with me with this. And then also all these layouts, it ended up filling the entire accordion. So that kind of will help me know like how much I can actually get done. If I do complete these in the first day, which is not quite likely, I do have to be realistic. But if I do, or if I get burned out, let's say I get halfway in and I'm like, I'm tired of layouts. I also have that other priority of project life that I want to do for 2023. So there's definitely more to work on. So this is all set. We've done a great job of essentializing. I have everything where I want it to be. I have removed the things I didn't need. We're now going to move into our next step of organize, which has a little bit of essentialism in there because you're organizing still what you need, but you're now putting everything in its place. So let's start that process. So we're now ready to start with the next step is organize. And the first thing I did was take out all of the totes and the bags and the bins and everything I had. That is going to be decided on whether it will come with me, how I will store my accessories and supplies, and the perfect bag for that. I'm going through it now to make sure everything will be in its place. It has been so long since I've seen these items. It's been years. You can see right here, the last time we went to an event, the We Create retreat was 2018. So my goodness, all of this stuff hasn't seen the light of day for probably since that year. I'm going to now go through all my tools and accessories and see what I need to correspond with my accordion folder with all my layouts and also project life. That's what this album is here. I need to make sure I have all the accessories I need. All right, let's do it. All right, for organize, it looks like it's completely disorganized, but I have this as a first step. What I did was I go through my drawers, my shelves back here, everything that possesses some sort of embellishment or some sort of tool that I would use to create embellishments. I have pulled that out thinking about the kits that I've assembled and what I would need at the crop. So I went through all my drawers, my bins. I went up here on my shelves. I looked through everything, thinking about those layouts and what would coordinate. I even have here an embellishment pocket holder over my door. I went through those. I did grab everything I thought I needed that would work for those pages. So now it is time to organize the disorganized, where everything can be found when I'm at the crop. My rolling tote is going to be perfect for my accordion folder and my albums since it is so sturdy. One of the things that's easy to forget is your page protector, because a lot of these kits are in their bags. They're in the kit bags. They're not actually in page protectors. So I have an album. This is for my Project Life, but it has all my page protectors in it. All the sizes for Project Life and the 12 by 12 regular page protectors for all these layouts that I will complete. So I'm going to put that in here as well. And I'll do it the other direction so it fits in here, just like that. And now I can grab that whenever I need a page protector. And I also like to put this sturdy envelope folder. It's got a nice hard bottom, flat bottom. I like to put that in front. So if I want to put any papers and don't want them to get folded or creased or messed up, I just put them right here in front. So what I'll do with the crop is I will actually take this whole thing out and I'll probably put it to my side of the table right below me. So it's always right there and I can flip easily if I find I need to do that. That way I don't have to keep opening this up back multiple times. I'll just have this open and the rest will stay in here as other projects only if needed. All right, zip it up, move on to the next thing. My friend Kim is the one I'll be scrapbooking with, and we've been talking about how we feel a little out of practice on some of these things, like doing layouts again if we've only been working on Project Life, or for me, the packing. The packing took a little bit to remember what every bag was for, every tool I would bring, all the items I would need. But once I got into it, I then started to remember, oh yes, this bag was for this, and this was what I used this for, and it came together quite nicely. Okay, we are all organized and we did end up with 3 bags, which is great because I'm going to put this bag on top of the rolling tote. This one I'm just going to carry, so it's one trip from the car to the crop. I feel so organized. That didn't take long at all, and it's probably because I've had everything I've needed, but also doing those kits ahead of time. I made sure had that list in front of me and just kept checking it and repeating in my mind and knowing, okay, what I need for these specifically. I did pack the Project Life stuff. That's all the accessories for Project Life. As you know, the album's in there. I have my little embellishment little 3 drawer, and something you saw me pack, I did it quickly, was my rack, my little table rack. That's going to give me another level at the retreat. It's going to be perfect for my crop table. So now what I'll do is I'll put probably some of these, the bins, I'll put that on top and these underneath, giving you more space. They do give us ample space at these crops, but you could always use more. And I'm one of those kind of like, I sprawl all out. So the more table space, the better. So that this is a definite, this rack. You saw me put my paper trimmer in there and all my cutting tools. All my punches are in here. I did put some pearl drops and some the stapler. All of that is here. I didn't even need these extra bags, so that's great. But what was so handy was to have this here while I was packing, because I thought of a couple things I need to purchase. One of those was baby wipes. I was thinking about for the stamps and just kind of cleaning things up around my station. So I will need some baby wipes. So that's the only thing I added. Feeling really good about things. We're ready to go. Now I probably will have this bag, this We Create Previous bag. I will probably have that full of my personal items, which is our next step, is to personalize. So I'm going to go through my list and look at all the things that are going to make this personal to me and what is going to help me feel like myself. That is the next step. So I'm ready to personalize and get that packed up, and then we'll be done. Here are all the items that are going to help me feel like myself at this event. I had an ongoing list, and so for me to personalize, It's going to be about comfort. Comfort, when you get into a big convention hall, it can lean on the cold side, especially for me. I lean cold. So definitely some things that are going to bring warmth, but I'm definitely going to pack this bag. I definitely need some drink bottles and some drink vessels for the warm and cold beverages. Of course, I want to bring this one, and I want to bring it, but it doesn't have a lid, so I have to be careful about that. So we'll see. I definitely am going to bring my iPad. Here's my running list, and I will bring this notepad with me. Gotta have my readers, because for that fine detail, I need to see everything very clearly. So definitely going to have a couple pairs of those. Snacks are a thing. Now we get fed there, our meals, and they might even have some chocolate. But I know something to nibble on is always nice, and it makes it feel more like a special event when you bring your own favorite snacks. So I'm bringing these cookie thins, and I'm probably going to grab some salty snacks as well. And then chargers, of course, are definite for the iPad, for the phone. Some chapstick to keep my lips hydrated. Gotta have my meds. And then this cool thing, someone gave this to me as a gift, and this is a purse hanger. You put it at the edge of the table, and then you have a hook, and you can put your bag on there. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I hope that works at the table they have. And I'm going to put the bag on the hook and have that with me. And that way that could be right at my side and be opened up, so I can just grab a snack or grab my iPad, or if I need a charger, my readers, anything I need. And then especially back to comfort, definitely need some fuzzy socks and also layers. So I'm definitely bringing a zippered up sweatshirt. That is going to help me stay warm and comfortable. I may even bring a blanket, but this is definitely a step not to miss. It's going to help you have that comfort and have you feel like yourself and what you need to just keep you going with energy and motivation and comfort. The last step is to systemize. And systemize means to keep things in a flow. Now that is probably going to be taking place at the actual event. So I'm going to turn that into a separate video. I'm going to put all of the links below to Kendra Adachi's website. That'll include her podcast as well as all her books, and one that's coming out this fall regarding productivity. And then be sure to subscribe to my channel. Also click the notification bell, because then you will be notified when I put out the next video for Systemize and actually show you the event in action and how well Kendra's process I put into place for scrapbooking and how it went. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next video.